Hello everybody, welcome to the Centbee Show where we talk about everything Centbee and Bitcoin related. I'm your host Lorien Gamaroff and my co-host is Kage Ntshingila. How are you doing, Kage?
Good yourself, Mr. G.
I'm very good, thank you very much. Nice to be back on the show here again, shooting it and talking about all the Centbee related things and Bitcoin related things and the events happening in the space. So very happy to be here.
Definitely. Yeah, Mr. G, like I always say, this is my favorite part of the week where we get to catch up, where we speak everything Centbee and Bitcoin related news. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be catching up and just getting into it.
Yes, and I think one of the important things to do, although we've been talking about Bitcoin related stuff and Centbee related stuff, a very important thing is also what's going on in the space.
Yes.
There's obviously news that comes out, about what's happening in law enforcement and government regulation.
Yeah.
And so as part of what we do here, it's important for us to talk about the news cycle as well, because of course that influences people. If there's good news and bad news, you generally tend to see how the whole crypto market responds to that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we're not a crypto company, we're definitely going to talk about that on a show. I think about the difference between cryptocurrency and the way Bitcoin was invented, the original Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But of course, there's still a lot going on out there in the industry in terms of the exchanges and what regulators are doing. So it's very important for us to touch on that.
Yeah.
And also just to talk about Centbee in that context, because a lot of people might think that Centbee is a cryptocurrency exchange or something like that.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and as you can see in the world today, where a lot of these exchanges are now under regulatory scrutiny, where does Centbee sit in that whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be important for us to touch on that, just to draw a distinction between Centbee as a consumer wallet and what's going on with these exchanges out there.
Yeah, now we have a honey pack show, as you guys heard. So yeah, Ms. G, I mean, for the fact that every week we get to try to tap into our features, it's important that now and again, like I always say, we get back and sort of unfold in depth the stuff that we are working on, regarding existing features or upcoming features. So speaking about that, we take pride in our support. We are always available. We try to work around the clock just to keep our users happy. Let's speak about why is it important for us to be transparent in terms of our availability for support.
Yes, exactly. Any company, if you think about how companies work, it's not just about the products that they sell or the services that they give, but it's very important for a company to deliver good support, because if a customer has a problem and they can't get the support that they need, then they become agitated and frustrated. So we always tried very hard to put a lot of emphasis in the support when a customer does have a problem, when a user does have an issue with Centbee, just to try and help them through it and fix it. Now, of course, as a small company that's still in development, I mean, we're not a big company, even though we're a global payment business and we have a lot of users right now using Centbee. We're still, at the end of the day, just a small startup, really.
Small company.
A small company.
Big things.
Doing big things.
Yeah.
And when Centbee didn't have as many users, it was a lot easier to give hands-on support. As soon as a customer had an issue, we could respond really quickly. And now, of course, as Centbee is growing, and volume is growing and users are coming on board. There's more users now with those same problems. So now we've got a whole ticketing system that we've got through support at centbee.com. And what happens is, if you do have an issue, if you send an email, then one of our support consultants will then be able to address it. We did used to have a public Telegram channel, but it turned out that every time users had issues, they would come there and they would try and find support, and ultimately that became difficult for us to try and handle. When you have a channel and everybody is coming onto it,
there's an influx.
It just becomes unmanageable, and people start turning away because it now is always noisy and it's just people with their problems.
Yeah.
So what we did was we made the decision to turn that just into a broadcast platform where we can share information and news and updates and that sort of thing. And so what we've done now is we've asked our users to email support@centbee.com, and then that will go through to support. But now, of course, given the number of users we have, sometimes users will find delays.
Yeah.
So if there is an urgent problem, of course, what we want to do is we want to solve those problems, especially when it comes to the money send feature in Centbee, or the top-up feature, because that's where a customer wants immediate responses. If their payment hasn't gone through to their bank, they need to get some kind of support immediately. So we'll try, and of course, as customer support requests come in, we'll look at those and deal with them. Of course, we will deal with them, but some of those we will then decide are more urgent or not, and then we'll go and deal with that. But I'm very pleased to say as well, now we've been working on a very cool feature inside Centbee, which is bringing AI into Centbee. Yeah. So and this is a feature that we've just actually released on Android. And iOS, it should be available in the next day or so. But before, in Centbee, whenever you have an issue, there on the wallet, there's a little pop-over menu that you can open up. There's a more button at the top right of the screen. And if you tap that, normally it took you to the centbee.com FAQ page, and then the user could try and find information there. But it's obviously very difficult to find what you want. Sometimes you have a problem that's specifically relating to you. And now what we are doing at the moment, and thanks to Aaron, who's built the support feature into the wallet, we now have been able to put our knowledge base into an AI engine. And now customers can go into the support chatbot on Centbee. When you tap the help, you'll now go into a little chatbot, and you can go and ask the questions there. And the idea is that you'll then have an AI person being able to speak to you and answer your questions. And so far, we're busy tuning it. It really does satisfy a lot of the customer requests, because we've gone through all our customer tickets, and whenever we see a question, we then test that question against our chatbot, and we're finding that a lot of those questions that customers have, that users have, can now be sufficiently answered by that bot. But of course, if it is a specific issue, like let's say you have a transaction that is stuck, or a top-up that hasn't been deposited yet, then the best thing to do there would be to go and email support@centbee.com.
I mean, that's cool, man. I mean, for the fact that we also integrating AI into Centbee, we're trying to make also the support efficient. I mean, given the fact that there's influx, but at the same time, we're still trying to, make it easier for people to get responses and help. That's awesome. Yeah. So we're using AI, and AI is just such a wonderful thing. We're seeing AI applied to so much out there today, in terms of image generation or just information, content generation. And I think all companies should really be looking at these tools out there to do all sorts of things. I mean, you can analyze data and all that, but we love AI, of course, and we definitely want to bring AI into Centbee wherever it fits. We've done it with our marketing, and now we're doing it with support. So I hope to see what other cool AI type features can be brought into Centbee. Maybe one day you'll be able to just talk to your wallet and say something like, "Send money to mom," and you won't have to go through all the screens. Who knows? Because I mean, at the rate that tech is advancing, I can't doubt that for a second. So come on, guys, remember to download the Centbee app, check it out on the stores. Remember to show some love, subscribe. You know the drill by now. Mr. G, I mean, talking about AI, Centbee has come a long way in terms of the user base. It has grown. So with the influx of people from Nigeria with the top-ups, us trying to mitigate the whole support system with this AI technology in place, do you think that it will still maintain the level of support that we have been pushing? I think that was something that sort of distinguishes us from most companies, is that human element. Do you think that will somehow be affected?
Well, look, I mean, most queries that users have are generic queries.
Okay.
You know, how long does it take to do this, or how do I verify my account, or, you know, there's a lot of general questions that get asked which could be answered by the chatbot. So I'm going to encourage users to give it a try, because it does give you answers in natural language, and so if you do have a question, I would encourage you to try the chatbot. If not, of course, we always have our support@centbee.com email. So yes, just give it a try. Hopefully it will answer some of the questions, but if not, then feedback to our normal support channel, which is the email, and we will certainly do our best to answer it quickly and efficiently.
Okay, cool. So in a nutshell, it's not like it replacing, you know, the human element, but it's more trying to make sort of like the response is more efficient.
Yes, just to answer basic questions.
Yeah.
If you've got a basic question, we think that the chatbot will answer it.
Yeah. Cool. All right, cool. Thanks for that, Mr. G. I mean, yeah, we always here. Like I always say, that's something we've always prided ourselves with, you know, that we are available for our users. So yeah, guys, remember, if you're experiencing any issues, try out our new chatbot there in the Centbee app. Remember to update on the stores. And also, yeah, just give us some feedback on how it works. If maybe we're missing some pointers there, just holler at us, drop us an email at support@centbee.com. We're happy for your feedback, you know? Yeah. So, Ms. G, we're going to be jumping into this week's Bitcoin industry news. I mean, it's crazy out there. You know what's happening.
Always is, it seems.
Yeah, but what I'd like to actually just focus on is, you know, the exchanges are in trouble, and we are well aware of that. We can see like what's happening, because we can see every publication, like financial publication, is putting out a story about this crypto crackdown. Everyone is talking about it, but what I have picked up is that from the FTX situation, there seems like going to be a ripple effect that's coming forth, and I see now we are like facing the Binance issue. What's really happening in that?
Yes, you know, what we've had over the last more than 10 years is a situation where there have been a lot of exchanges spring up, because what exchanges find is that people want to trade.
Yeah.
And when they are trading, then there's money to be made. And of course, the more customers that are trading, the more money you're making.
Yeah.
Now, the whole scene where we think about exchanges and we think about the crypto industry, again, I always hate calling it an industry, because it's not much of an industry. It is a lot of a speculation. But a lot of exchanges have sprung up, and because of the kind of unregulated nature of crypto, even though it's not something that people look at as an unregulated industry, of course, there are a lot of exchanges and businesses out there that are trying to, even if there are no licenses or anything like that, they're still trying to stay within the rules, just to make sure that law enforcement and regulators don't come and crack down on them. You know, it's very tempting for a business to say, look, we're going to ignore some of the rules around knowing our customers or doing anti-money laundering checks. And what we're going to do is we're going to just let anybody create an account, and then they can trade, and then we can earn money from that. Now, putting in all the regulatory oversight in a business is very expensive. Centbee spends a lot of time and a lot of money trying to follow the rules around money transactions, payments, cross-border remittance. And so that's very onerous on us. But, you know, as an institution, as an organization that is trying to be a respectable, responsible organization that regulators don't look at as a bad actor, you know, we are now trying to make sure that while we apply for our licenses, which are are coming soon, which we're glad about, we have to now spend a lot of time and a lot of money doing all the right anti-money laundering checks and checking our customers, making sure that multiple accounts are not being created. And exchanges for years have really just left that, because they didn't want to have to, first of all, block customers from coming onto the platform, but then second of all, the expense and time it takes to do all the right regulatory checks. So we saw how with FTX, because of the regulatory environment that it was operating in, where it wasn't having to do all the right checks and balances and that sort of thing. Then what we saw with FTX was how they were using customer funds inappropriately, and they had all sorts of funny things going on with their token, and ultimately that fell apart. And SBF, the CEO, and the executives all were pled guilty, and now they're all in jail or whatever it is. And that just that story is replicated around the world to a greater or lesser extent with other exchanges.
It is, yeah.
And even the biggest exchange today, Binance, is also now under pressure from securities exchange regulators. And they are requiring Binance to start revealing information about their customers and their trades, and checking to see, is Binance allowing criminal activity to operate on their platform. So the biggest news that we have now after the FTX scandal and other exchanges that have collapsed spectacularly is that the world's largest exchange, Binance, is now also going to be under review, and it's the CEO is being interrogated, and I think he's having I think he's pled guilty to some charges. So this is really what's happening, is that securities regulators and financial regulators around the world are now finally catching up and looking at these exchanges and seeing where are they flouting the regulations. And as I said, a lot of these exchanges, they have been enjoying a period where they were allowed to just have any kind of customer come on board, to do some trades, to then also use the funds in any way they like. Of course, we're not even talking about things like Tether, where we have a business that is now issuing these tokens, these Tether tokens, and nobody really knows for sure, are they able to back those tokens up with real money? Of course, we've seen that they don't actually have a one-to-one cash connection to their tokens, and they've got all sorts of other financial instruments trying to back Tether. But now we're seeing the same thing across the world. All these exchanges are under scrutiny. They're going to be tested. They're going to be checked, and it seems that we might see in the year to come, 2024, a very different world where the big exchanges now have to fundamentally change their businesses to make sure that they are following all the rules. And that could mean that a lot of their trades and a lot of what goes on behind the scenes is now exposed and limited. And who knows, maybe people will start seeing a big decrease in the value of these tokens as users around the world are limited in what they can do and how they can trade, and exchanges are limited in how they can use customer funds and what kind of customers they can have.
Cool. Geez, man, that's quite a lot, because it's quite disturbing, because you now ask yourself that with all the tradings, the money that's moving, what type of activities are being funded? It's a little bit scary to know that anyone could literally get on these platforms without being properly checked,
properly vetted, seeing their business activity. Well, what's happening with Binance now is that all that information is about to be exposed to the regulators, all the customer trades.
Whoa, Mr. Chi, whoa. Are you telling me that now the crackdown doesn't only focus on the entities, but even people who were involved in those transactions? Activities?
That's what's happening now with Binance, where Binance is going to have to reveal all that information about all their customers and all the trades going way back. So this is now going to be not just a crackdown on the exchanges, but also a crackdown on the criminal activity that's being conducted through those exchanges. So they've got a big task ahead of them. It's not just Binance, but a lot of these exchanges out there. Of course, not all. Some are trying to be responsible and not doing that. But a company the size of Binance, with the volumes that they do, there's going to be a lot of information that's going to be revealed. And it might be many more people than just the executives of the business, having trouble with the law.
Because it quite sucks that there's, companies out there that look legit, operate as legit, but hindsight, they're actually, pushing sort of like illicit money transactions or activities, only to find out that it's entirely illegal, basically, because it's out of the regulatory framework. I mean, how does that happen, like in a current system where everything sort of like doesn't go unchecked?
Well, now it's going to go checked. And so that's why I feel like, we mentioned in another episode about the dampening of the crypto industry market where people are trading. This is going to have a dampening effect on the volume that gets traded through these exchanges. But also, there's other things that go on in behind the scenes. There's a phenomenon called wash trading, where exchanges will create fake trades, trade against customers, do all sorts of funny things.
Just to manipulate.
Just to manipulate the market, to try and show that there's more volume than there actually is. Of course, these platforms, a lot of them have their own tokens that they can just generate from thin air. So it seems that now that the clampdown is happening, the crackdown, the regulatory crackdown is happening, we're going to see a very different world in 2024. And I think that people who think that they will be able to continue trading these tokens freely, I think that is going to be something that changes, and we will see an impact on the whole crypto market in terms of the prices for these tokens. So look, I'm very pessimistic about crypto generally, as I think it's apparent when people talk to me. I think that the cryptocurrency world is a world that's not going to last forever. That's why Bitcoin, the original Bitcoin protocol, the way Satoshi Nakamoto designed it, was that it complied with all the rules. It's not a cryptocurrency. It's not anonymous. It's not encrypted. The very important thing about Bitcoin is that it's not encrypted. It's transparent. You can see the transactions and the information on the blockchain. Of course, it does use some cryptographic stuff to make sure that there's a bit of security here and there and all that. But it's not about anonymizing those transactions. It's not encrypting any information that cannot be decrypted. And so blockchains that are trying to be cryptocurrencies and touting that kind of lawlessness, of course, that's not going to last forever at all. And now that we see these exchanges are going to be severely restricted in the kinds of tokens that they can list on those exchanges, as well as blocking users who are creating multiple accounts or whatever it is, that's going to be something that creates a massive dampener on the whole industry. And which is great for legitimate businesses looking at blockchain as some kind of new ledger that they can do new kinds of business activities on. So I think next year, 2024, is going to be very different in terms of the whole crypto space. I think that a lot of businesses, specifically the exchanges that are allowing illicit activity to happen on those exchanges, will either disappear or will be fundamentally changed. Tokens will be delisted. It's certainly looking that there's going to be an upheaval in the crypto space, and it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. But of course, Centbee isn't involved in that sort of activity. We're not an exchange or anything like that. So I was
about to ask. I was about to ask that. Okay, cool. Like with all of this happening, I mean, it's nerve-wracking, because for people out there, they look at it with sort of like some form of misunderstanding. Like they tie it together when they think of crypto, BSV, it's all one thing, But okay, me as a user and reading all about this in the news, and then having a product like Centbee, like how does Centbee now tie into all this craze that's going on out there?
Yes, very good question. Because Centbee isn't an exchange, and of course we have started, when we built Centbee, we were very careful in making sure that whatever future rules and regulations came down the line, that we would be compliant. And so when we started out Centbee, we went into it thinking of ourselves as a traditional financial services company. And when it comes to financial services, there are very well-defined rules and regulations around how you should conduct your business. So Centbee always has implemented the right checks and balances and auditing and controls to make sure that when the whole space becomes officially regulated and there are official licenses, that we have already checked all the boxes that make us a compliant, accountable institution. So of course we vet every one of our users. There's a very rigorous KYC process, which just means of identity verification. You cannot top up your wallet and you cannot do any money sends until you have provided your full identity set of information. So a photo of your face, photo of your ID. And then what we do is we enforce strict limits. So a user cannot send more money per day or per month than their limits dictate. Now, of course, we can raise those limits to those customers that require them, and what we would do then is we would get extra information. So we'd probably want something like your proof of address, maybe the source of funds, proof of your source of funds, like a pay slip or something. And by doing that, we are ticking the box. We are verifying your identity. We're verifying where you come from and your source of funds. And by doing that, when we do get any kind of audit or anything like that, if a regulator comes along and says, have you done all this stuff? We've already got that in place. Now, a lot of users come onto Centbee and they think, okay, great, this is a great way to just, put loads of BSV on the app and then we can send it to anyone we like. And they will be disappointed because what they'll find, first of all, is that they are limited in how much they can top up and spend. But also, we are checking very carefully when users try and create multiple accounts and send money to individuals or something. It's very important to test that. And so we managed to block our users that now to try and skirt around those limits and those rules and the restrictions we put in place.
Because users are always trying to, they're always trying to find loopholes. Especially in a space like this. Like crypto, they think it's all about moving, money under carpet. But no, Centbee is not a product for that.
Not at all, exactly. And Bitcoin was never a product for that. Because it's transparent and identities get linked to those what are called addresses on the blockchain. So it's very easy for us to be able to go to law enforcement if they require, and we've had requests from law enforcement. They've sent us addresses and they've said, who do these belong to? Are any of these belonging to users on your platform? And we are obligated to provide that information. So we are determined to become a fully licensed, and that's in the works right now, accountable institution that provides all the right information to regulators and law enforcement when they want it, which then puts limitations on customers so that they don't manage to exceed any of the restrictions that we have. And so users will then, on one hand, find that Centbee is a very bad product, as you say, to be able to launder money through. And so our users, which are typically young people who just want to be able to shop, sometimes maybe want to send money home, they'll be satisfied with that way of using Centbee. And also they will be able to have the confidence that Centbee is operating like an accountable institution, and there won't be any risk one day where we are now shut down because we've already done all the right things. And as I've already said, we are already almost complete with our application for a license. We're going to be a fully licensed financial services provider. And so we are now able to give confidence to our users that we are not doing anything that one day could put the business at risk itself. But that being said, one of the cool things about Centbee too is that you keep your private keys. And so it is possible to take your words and your PIN and to be able to just use standard Bitcoin tools and algorithms to be able to regenerate your wallet outside of Centbee. So we are not a typical kind of exchange business where we allow the customers to just trade cryptos. It's not about trading on Centbee. It's about topping up your wallet and spending your money. The limits that we have put in place means that we are fully compliant with all rules around financial services transactions. And also, we have made sure that we apply for the correct licenses and do all the right anti-money laundering and that sort of thing. So I'm very confident that Centbee is going to be kind of a company that people can look at and say, that's how you build a Bitcoin business. You follow those rules, and customers can have confidence, the regulators can have confidence, and we can flourish.
Cool, man. That's awesome, Mr. Chief, because there's a lot that's happening out there, and people are being scammed, I mean, everyone is always, especially like in this tech space, is always looking for an opportunity. And, the moment they see an opportunity where they can easily just, scam people or create some information that distorts the truth, they do that. But why we are here is to try to, clarify what Bitcoin is all about. Why we are here also as Centbee, because it's all about us activating people's lifestyles, enabling them to shop, at low cost, access stuff they couldn't previously. So, like I say, every week for me it unfolds. I'm sure it does for you guys. Remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. Like Mr. G said, guys, we have an FSP license coming up. So we've been playing by the book. So if you ever wondered which BSV wallet you should be using, wonder no more. Download the Centbee app, guys. Okay. Yo, what's up, guys? We're stepping into this week's feedback and highlights from you guys. Questions and feedback, actually, from you guys on socials. Our first question is posted on X from Chris, Crypto Factor. He's asking, is Centbee the only way to off-ramp the pound?
The British pound?
Yeah.
Well, of course, I don't know if Centbee is the only wallet that can do that.
Could be.
What Centbee does now is that we have a number of ways where you can send money to bank accounts around the world, and one of the countries we support is England. And so what you can do is you can send to a bank account in pounds from your Centbee wallet. So if you've got BSV in your wallet and you want to now send it to a bank account in England, then you can go and send your pounds there. We obviously have a lot of other countries. We've got a lot of European countries like France and Germany, and we've got a lot of African countries like Ghana and Senegal, and we've got Brazil,
Nigeria.
We've got Nigeria. So we definitely have a lot of countries. GBP, British pounds, that's definitely available with Centbee. So give it a try and see what you think.
Sure. Thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, man. Definitely you can. Just try it out. Remember, you need to be KYC first. So just provide us with a couple of required information there just for you to get sorted, for you to withdraw your cash, man. Yeah, Ms. G. Our second question comes from Victory Man Valentine. Well, they're asking, why is it that I couldn't withdraw my money from my wallet?
Yes, so now there's a number of reasons why you wouldn't be able to send money to a bank account. The first step that you need to take is you need to verify your identity. So that would require you taking a photo of your ID document, passport, ID card, something like that, and then taking a selfie. Now, once you've gone through that process, then it should be fairly simple creating a recipient. So what you can do is go to the send screen, you can tap the little plus button at the bottom right, and then choose a bank account or a mobile money account or a cash collection. And that typically would be an ATM in a different country, or your own country. And then what you can do is you can then send, once you've created the recipient, you've provided some basic information like a bank account number or an IBAN number, then it should be fairly simple for you to be able to send money to that bank account. Now, one of the things we have, which is what we mentioned, is the limits that we've put in place. So if you've just done the basic ID verification, then you will find that there is a limit set, and that means you can only send that amount of money per day, up to a certain amount per month. But for some people, we find that there is something that we need to check with their ID. So we might go and reduce those limits back down to 0. So when you try and send money, you'll find that you can't. And the reason for that is maybe we need to double check your document. Maybe there was something that we missed, because we do have automation checking those documents, but sometimes they need to be manually verified. So that could happen. Another issue is that sometimes the transaction is delayed at the bank. Maybe the bank will need some more information, and we have this come up every once in a while where the bank requests more information about the sender, maybe an address or a surname or something like that, and that can also delay things. Now, one of the things that we do as well is that we do anti-money laundering checks, and that means we sometimes find users trying to skirt around the limits that we've put in place, and they try and create multiple accounts, maybe using a friend's ID document or something like that. And then what happens is those multiple users try and send to the same recipient. Now, of course, our anti-money laundering controls check for that, and so if you have done something like that, you're going to find that the payments get frozen until we can verify what's going on there. And typically we would refund that or something like that. But if there's more problems, we're obligated to then expose that information to the regulators and the law enforcement. So what I want to encourage users to not do is to try and create multiple accounts that skirt around our limits that we've put in place. Because if you do that, then what's going to happen is we can then see that all these different accounts are sending to the same recipient, and now that's a trigger that now we have to deal with. So if you have done something like that, you're going to find that your payments are frozen, and we are going to need to do some kind of manual intervention to release those funds, if at all. So I encourage you not to try that. So, and then sometimes, of course, there could be a technical glitch. Maybe there's a bug in the software and we have to go and check it out. So I just hope that you can be, if you reach out to support@centbee.com, then we can then look at that. And of course, that would be an urgent ticket, and we would deal with it as soon as we could, and we would resolve that. So please use Centbee responsibly if you are sending money to bank accounts and mobile money accounts. Because if you try and skirt around our anti-money laundering checks, then you're going to find that you get blocked, and who knows, maybe you'll even get blacklisted. Centbee is meant to be used responsibly. It's meant for low value transactions, just to purchase something like a game or shopping or something like that. It's meant to activate your lifestyle, as we always say. It's not meant to move large amounts of money cross-border or anything like that, because those are the restrictions we put in place, and those are the limits that you have, and if you try and skirt around them, we will stop you.
Thanks for that, Mr. G, because we had to clarify quite a lot on that, So
Yes.
I'm glad that, we actually highlighted the fact that, we are a legit company, and we are a legit product that, complies with regulation. So we take pride in that, because like I was saying, for us, it was from onset. We could have easily lost it by also just listening to what's happening out there, but we actually stuck to what the white paper said, and we run with it till today. So I'm proud of Centbee. I'm sure you guys should be as well, man. Check it out, download it on the stores, and remember, Centbee is not for shady dealings, guys. It's all about activating your lifestyle. Just get out there, get plugged, be the plug. It's all about low costs, fast money moving, chatting with friends, activating your lifestyle, as simple as that.
Simple as that.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for that, man. Ms. G, you have some highlight from X here from the guys. I see Cassandra here is saying, such a delightful shopping experience. Funny enough, we were just speaking about that, So, yeah, guys, download the Centbee app, explore it. You'd be shocked how many stuff you can purchase through Centbee, hey? Our second highlight comes from Victory Man Valentine. He's saying, don't forget, I'm your biggest fan here.
Yeah. No, we definitely got some nice fans out there who reach out on social media.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate our fans. We appreciate our users. We want to make something that is useful to you. We really believe in Satoshi's vision, which is digital cash that's global, that's low cost, and we want to make it useful to you, so we are going to be sure to keep on adding things to the Centbee shop where you can go and shop and you can carry on enjoying the shopping experience with Centbee. That is our goal, so thank you for reaching out. Also, just remember to leave feedback on our videos or in our social media, because we want to hear from you, and we want to know what you think, so we stay on the right track. So please reach out to us, give us feedback, give us comments. If there's things you don't like, let us know. We're here for you. If you have a problem, support@centbee.com is the best way to get somebody to look at your problem. Or you can try our new AI chatbot, which which will answer your basic questions on how to do certain things.
Cool,
Rock
man.
on.
Thanks for an awesome show, Mr. G.
Thank you.
So this is probably our wrap up for the year.
Well, yes, I think what we are now doing is we're going to finish our pilot season.
Yeah.
And so this is episode 12 of our pilot season. And next year we will start the show again in January. Yeah. And that'll be the official season 1. So we hope to have some new equipment, maybe some signage. We want to make our Centbee studio here look really groovy. So that's going to come next year, but we will continue releasing content. We've got some interviews that we want to release, and we are going to be fleshing out our Centbee channel on YouTube. We're going to be adding some shorts. There's a lot of content actually. There's a lot of conferences that I've been at that I've spoken about Centbee and other things, so we'll probably be turning those into shorts as well. But as Kage always says, like and subscribe. Please share this with your friends who are interested in digital cash, if they want to use a cool digital cash wallet that can activate their lifestyle. Share the channel, and we are going to carry on loving you guys and keeping the Bitcoin Satoshi vision alive.
Plus, next year's the year of the dragon.
Yes.
So, we slaying next year, yo. So it's going to be an awesome one. I'm excited already about season 2, I was saying to you, So, guys, remember to catch up if you haven't been checking out the Centbee Show. You're missing out by now. So, just go back, check out the previous episodes, the interviews Mr. G's had by the Digital Nigeria Conference. So catch up, guys. Remember to subscribe, show some love, download the Centbee app. You know the drill by now.
Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Centbee Show. Please come back soon.